leaders' minds like jazzed up beats. No time for shade, no space for ire. It's harmony they must inspire. Whisper treaties, roll the dice. Diplomacy spiced with some advice. Two nations rise when leaders care. The future's waiting, are they aware? Treaties, roll the dice. Diplomacy spiced with some advice. Two nations rise when leaders care. The future's waiting, are they aware?
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. Welcome back to the program, folks, to all the Neanderthals, Homo sapiens, homosexuals, heterosexuals, transgender, gay, straight, lesbian, gay, whatever you are out there. Welcome to all of those Christians, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, Wiccans, and everyone else. It's the news, your daily dose, your jab, your injection, your protection against the virus of fake media, fake news, misinformation, and disinformation right here on the Wyatt Independent News Network. Welcome back, folks. Good to see you all there. We surpassed 60,000 subscribers today, much to my chagrin. I didn't know if we were going to get there. It seemed like it was a long slog. We were at 50,000 on March 1st, and 19 days later, we finally get to 60,000. Ironic to say that. I mean, if I had gained, 10,000 subscribers in 19 days, anytime in the past 4 years, I'd been like, wow! But we got spoiled with the February rise. We're at 60,000 now, folks, pushing on. Join us, spread the word, get it out there. Hate wankers, you're welcome to subscribe, but don't come in here and be fools and start with your nonsense, your bigotry and racism. You will be smacked and sent home. We do PKs here. We give people a mooring. That's what happens if you misbehave. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. I used to just never do that. I mean, I want open discourse, but there's a lot of people who have no desire in discourse. They simply want to be fools and tools. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, news to talk about. Going to get to that right now. Let's do the news. And if you're going to chat and you got questions for me, I'm not going to be answering them because I'm addressing the news. At least for the most part, I won't be answering them. If something catches my eye by chance or happenstance, I might address it. But let me get through the news and then I'll answer your questions afterwards. Remember, if you got a question for me, you need to use the @ symbol and get my name selected from the drop-down menu for that. And then it'll show up in yellow, and I'll know that you've contacted me. Another way to get my attention is a super chat. Those are always welcome. They help pay the bills. They haven't for the past 4 years, but this month and last month, they're helping pay the bills a little bit. Right, let's get to the stories, and let's discuss what's going on in the world today. So that was a global diplomacy dance, a song I put together. Hope you like that. Trying to get Cyril and Don in a room to work it out. Meanwhile, before that was Giselle with Philins Mensa, an anthem for Afrikaans. All right, folks. Let's get to the news. The list of nearly 70,000 South African Afrikaners seeking relocation refugees handed to the U.S. Embassy. This is huge, earth-shattering news. It completely rubbishes the argument that Agri-SA and the South African government are making. The argument that nobody wants to go to America. Clearly, somebody wants to go to America, or at least is interested in it. Almost 70,000 South African nationals or Afrikaners have indicated some form of interest in taking up the refugee offer extended by U.S. President Donald Trump. Wow. In February, Iowa reported that 18 hours after Trump's order, the South African Chamber of Commerce had already had 10,000 relocation inquiries. Correct, they did, before they were told to quit reporting on it. At the time, Chamber President Neil Diamond said the inquiries were from people who wanted to relocate to the U.S. with their families. This week, he traveled to South Africa with his delegation, where he met with officials of the U.S. Embassy to hand over the names of individuals who have registered for relocation. Speaking to Broadcast Newsroom Africa, Diamond said his organization has been overwhelmed by the massive interest in the refugee program. It's very important for the United States, for the South African Chamber of Commerce in the U.S. to travel to South Africa so that we could share the details of those folks that have registered on their website to receive more information and express their interest. Immediately following the executive order, it was about 5 p.m. U.S. time that we got the information. We relayed that information to some folks we knew in South Africa, and it just spread like a wildfire. By the time I woke up Saturday morning, I had 7,500 emails in my inbox, over 2,500 texts, WhatsApp, Facebook messages. Basically, our mail service crashed. So now you know what it's like for me. But Neil Diamond is the head of an organization that has dozens of people working for it and has money and resources. It's just me. Take that and multiply it much more by what I get all the time. Wow. Wow. Well, if first off, Charmaine, I'm going to dive in the chat. First off, Charmaine, Joel Pollak isn't even the nominee for South Africa, so it's a stupid comment for them to make. Second, if they reject Joel Pollak's credentials, that will escalate the war. There's no reason to reject Joel Pollak's credentials to be ambassador to South Africa. As much as I'd cover that job over him, I'm not going to be silly here and play games. There's no reason to reject Joel Pollak's nomination or his credentials. The United States can, if the United States appoints, if the president nominates him, and then the Senate accepts him, and the U.S. sends him to South Africa, and then they reject his credentials, that would be an affront of immense proportions to the United States, and it would just destroy South African relations. So if they want to do that, go ahead. That's stupid. There's no basis for it. Pollak has done nothing to warrant that. Pollak is actually trying to help South Africa and keeps telling them things not to do and ways forward, but they're just ignoring him. So there's always got to be a scapegoat for the failures of the South African government. They always got to blame someone else. Always got to blame someone else. And if the person's a Jew, all the better for them. The hatred of Jews is epic, which is ironic given the Jews played such a key role in the history of the African National Congress and in the Freedom Charter of 1955. To treat Jews in South Africa in such a horrible fashion is par for the course, but it's unfortunate. But there you go. It's also ironic, isn't it? So, some of the people, that's the protests back at the embassy. Almost 70,000 South African inquiries about the U.S. refugee relocation. Neil Diamond will be a guest on my program this Sunday. This Sunday, folks. He'll be on the program. We'll probably do a live because he's indicated that he wants a large audience, so we'll probably do a live. Or we'll record, I'm not sure which. Maybe we'll record it. Anyway, Neil Diamond will be on the program this Sunday, and he'll tell us about his trip to South Africa and what's happened. So, welcome to tune in. Now, here's a story which I've just recorded a video. I was editing it when I went live. I'll have to finish this broadcast early, a few minutes early, so I can get it done and get it posted before I go on Ronaldo's program. But there's been no land expropriation in the past 10 years. This is a statement by Dean McPherson. Dean McPherson was asked questions in Parliament. He answered the questions, and he says there's no land expropriation in the last 10 years, which the headline sounds like, wow, what are they worried about? Well, there has been land expropriation. But if there hasn't been land expropriation in the last 10 years, then that's the government's fault. The government has a mechanism to expropriate land. They've had it at their disposal for the last 10 years. It's called expropriation with compensation. And the government has purchased 3.9 million hectares of land. So what have they been doing for the last decade while they allow this problem to fester? Blaming it on Afrikaners, blaming it on white landowners. They're the ones that have caused the problem, not people who own land. So McPherson is answering questions from a Rise Mzansi MP who was dishonest and disingenuous in Parliament. Expropriation questions become a talking point as U.S. President Donald Trump, guided by disinformation and geopolitical differences with South African government, continues to pressure President Cyril Ramaphosa's office after he signed the Expropriation Act. Now, see, that's misinformation. That's disinformation, intentionally misleading you. It's not misinformation from a standpoint that you got the facts wrong. This author is intentionally misleading. That is op-ed disguised as news in a news report. That's opinion. That's not news. President Trump is not pressuring Cyril Ramaphosa. What pressure is he putting on there? What pressure? There's no sanctions, there's no demands, there's no nothing. We simply cut off aid to the whole world. How is that pressure on Cyril Ramaphosa? Are we cutting off aid to Bangladesh to get the South African government to remove expropriation law? No, it's asinine. It's just stupid. That's opinion. It's not news. It does not belong in a news report. That paragraph didn't belong in there. This is what News 24 does. So fact check, you are a failure at this station. Joel Pollak has warned that renaming Sandton Drive could lead to consulate closure. Well, that's true, but who is Joel Pollak to make such a warning? Does he represent the United States government? He does not. He's a journalist, as am I. And I've made it clear in my videos that I do not represent the views of the United States government, nor does Joel Pollak. But he's probably right. He's probably right. But they run this thing as if he's as an official of the government. He's not. Joel Pollak, a frontrunner to become U.S. ambassador for President Trump. He's not a frontrunner. That's what you people keep writing. That doesn't make it true. Has warned South Africa that the renaming of Sandton Drive could lead to the shutdown of U.S. government offices in the country. The motion, introduced by Democratic Alliance Councilor Linda Shackelford, was rejected by some of the councilors March 13th. That was to revisit the renaming. So again, the media acting as if they have the facts, and they don't. They never offer where their source is that says that Joel Pollak is the frontrunner. No one can provide that. That's simply people saying that. That doesn't make it true. He may very well be the candidate, but that doesn't make it true, folks. It does not make it true. South Africans' reaction to President Ramaphosa's remarks about closing schools for 2 years. This one I got to watch because it's a little confusing. It seemed as if he was talking about they should have closed schools 30 years ago. Or is he talking about closing schools now? But I take a look at it here because he said we need to close schools. We should have closed all the schools for 2 years, take the educators to re-education centers and have them re-educated so they're now ready to teach the children properly. Re-education centers. I don't think it's necessary. You successfully completely obliterated the true history of South Africa and obliterated the entire history of entire ethnic groups in South Africa with your post-apartheid fantasy history lessons for students and your shameful misrepresentation of history. Yeah, so I don't know what re-education you need. You've pulled off what you wanted. You've lied to 3 generations of South African children who now think that they're entitled to things they're not entitled to, now think that all the land in the country was stolen, deny that the Mfecane ever existed, and act as if the land was full of Nguni-speaking peoples for 50,000 years, none of which is true. So why do you need re-education centers? You've successfully undermined education, lowered the standards. No, and by the way, re-education centers? What are you, communist? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's a member of the South African Communist Party. Of course he wants a re-education center. That's what they do. That's what they do. Re-education center. Wow. People are upset about the shutting schools for 2 years. You ought to be upset about the fact he said re-education centers. You have to re-educate educators? Well, that's a problem. If you're re-educating educators, then they're not educators. Then they're simply drones in a propaganda system of Soviet-style oppression. That's the bottom line. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are some cops that need to be fired forthwith. These police need to be sacked immediately. The EPMD officers' strike causes major traffic disruptions, and it's unlawful. A strike by members of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department that the city has strongly condemned led to significant disruptions across major roads on Wednesday. Videos and pictures of the protest show officers in full uniform using Metro Police Department vehicles bringing roads to a standstill. They're also observed in Metro Department minibus taxis, doors open, and sirens blaring as they navigate the highway. The convoy of protest vehicles was followed by significant traffic backup.
Op die N17 highway, hulle staak vir salary sê hulle vir my. Maak die hele fucking N17 highway toe.
These people are not police officers. They're criminals. It's illegal to strike. It's also illegal to block public highway like that. Every one of them should be disciplined and fired immediately. You're better off not having police like this than having this sort of nonsense. City of Ekurhuleni spokesperson Zweli Dlamini said the ongoing protests severely impacted traffic flow in the R24 westbound, particularly between R Tambo and the Electron interchange. Northbound N3 from Heidelberg to Elands is also experiencing congestion. We strongly condemn this unlawful protest actions that compromise public safety. It does. People's lives are in jeopardy by accidents occurring by people not paying attention as traffic comes to a complete standstill on a highway where they can go 120 kilometers per hour. These people are criminals and must be prosecuted forthwith. I call on the government of South Africa to file criminal charges against them from the national level, for the South African Police Service to take responsibility for policing in Ekurhuleni and disband the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. It is a criminal organization comprised of criminals who are blocking highways, endangering public safety, and are illegally protesting. Ekurhuleni Metro Police face arrest. Good. Arrest calls following illegal strike action. We need a salary and adjustment. What's add? Oh, adjustment. Needs salary adjustment, not overtime. What you need is an attitude adjustment. While the striking members of the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department have returned to the post following the Wednesday protests, which disrupted traffic, Ian Cameron, the DA's chairperson for the Portfolio Committee and Police, called for these officers to be jailed. Every single one of the Metro Police members from the city of Ekurhuleni that did what they did this morning should be arrested and charged. Shameful. You have no idea how many people sacrificed to serve and protect with a police badge. Yeah, exactly. They should be arrested. That's right. They're criminals. They're not law enforcement officers. If a law enforcement officer will only work when they get what they want, then they're not a law enforcement officer. Then they're a greedy bastard. I don't care if they're underpaid. That's not the issue here. If they're underpaid, then negotiate with the city to get better pay. You don't endanger people's lives. You don't endanger people's lives. Arrest them all. Arrest them all. Ekurhuleni to discipline striking cops. This comes out afterwards. The Metro implemented consequence management against officials who took part in illegal protests that blocked crucial routes. The Ekurhuleni Metro said it would implement consequence management against Metro police officials who participated in illegal protests. Consequence management, criminal prosecutions. Yaku Kruger, thank you for your membership. Consequence management, the consequence is they get fired, they get arrested, they get fired, and they go behind bars. That's a consequence. This is a consequence of misappropriating government vehicles for personal purposes. They use their government vehicles, which you, the taxpayers, paid for, to obstruct traffic, to endanger public safety, to damage the economy of Ekurhuleni and South Africa. These are criminals. They're not legitimate. They must be forthwith done away with. Jail, jail, jail, jail, jail, jail, jail. Fill the jails. Well, South African Communist Party breaks the ANC's heart, saying that, hey, we're running for the elections. ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa said this would weaken the National Democratic Movement. No, buddy. There's only 50,000 members of the South African Communist Party, and most of them are senior members of ANC, so not going to weaken anything. You're not going to vote for them. They're going to get 25,000 votes in that election if they're lucky. Well, a viral video, Andrew Thompson tries to trash the story. I covered this last night, so I won't go in great detail here. Suffice it to say that this is another effort by News 24 at distraction, bait and switch to mislead people. Talking about a photograph that's circulating now from 2015 in which a farm invasion took place, a verified farm invasion, verified photographs. The authenticity of it was verified in 2015. I remember the story. I reported on it. Thank you, Julie, for becoming a member. The story is legitimate. The photograph's legitimate. The cell phone jammers that are included in the photograph are legitimate. The police issued service weapons are legitimate. All this has been verified 9 years ago. But because someone's circulating it now, he attempts to take the fact it's being circulated now to mislead people by saying, well, these people are lying. This isn't true. It didn't cost this much. Well, it might have cost that much 10 years ago. Who knows what it cost now? But News 24 actually went out to price cell phone jammers to make their argument that, well, the cell phone jammer didn't cost 350,000 Rand. Who gives a flying flip what the cell phone jammer cost? The fact that people are invading a farm with cell phone jammers in the dark of the night and are caught on CCTV with police-issued service weapons proves that this is real. This is just nonsense. This is not a media outlet. These people are simply lying to you. Why? Look, if you want to say that this is what should have been done, if Andrew Thompson wanted to rubbish this, so he said, look, there's a photograph from 2015 from a genuine farm attack that's being circulated on social media that is incorrect. It's misleading people, giving the impression that this just took place. If you want to say that, that's true, but that's not what he does. He uses it to say, well, there's no farm attacks, essentially. That's what he's saying. That's the gist of his argument here. It's ridiculous. Viral photo of farm attacker is from 2015. His signal jamming equipment doesn't cost 350,000. Who cares? Who cares? The signals being blocked and people unable to get emergency response still led to people's being attacked and murdered and oh my goodness. These people are unbelievable. A photograph currently circulating widely online claims to provide evidence that farm murders are highly organized and possibly even government orchestrated. Well, I never said they were government orchestrated. South African farm attackers use $20,000 signal jammers. They claim they're disgruntled farm workers. How do you afford such technology? Who is funding them? Okay? So, security experts told News 24 the backpack did contain a signal jammer. Photographs are not new. Reverse image shows it was 2015. You don't need reverse image, dingbat. We don't need that. We know the photograph. I mean, would you just walk on a scene as a journalist today? Whoa! Some of us were here in 2015 and reported on this story. I did on LinkedIn. I reported the story on LinkedIn in 2015. My goodness, folks. Wow. I'm not going to spend any more time on that story. We can talk about it after the news if you want. What is the National Youth Development Agency? Why do you need a development agency? National Youth Development Agency. Do you know what the National Youth Development Agency is in a proper country? Let me help you out with this, folks. They're called parents. Parents. You have two parents in a home. They develop the youth. They inculcate values. They teach morals. They discipline bad behavior. They are responsible for the youth, not the government, which does an abysmal job. The National Youth Development Agency. What a waste of money. Disband it now. Gone. What does this thing do? It's DOGE it right now. DOGE it. 9 names for the board, including DA counselor Rise Mzansi activist. Among the 9 recommended candidate board members for the National Youth Development Agency is a DA counselor and activist from Rise Mzansi who once criticized for his pro-Palestine comments. So there you go. Even more reason why you get an idiot that's pro-Palestine is clearly somebody that's not particularly bright. So just do away with this. Another waste of government resources. The National Youth Development Agency. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you parents. So what's going to happen if Trump cuts the global fund? Oh, now we care what the Americans do. Oh, America actually does a lot for the world. Oh, we've been saying evil, systemic, racist America for so long, we forgot that America's the one saving the frickin' world. That's right. Oh, now you wake up to this. I say cut it all and come back begging. What will happen if Trump cuts U.S.'s global fund contributions? We working out, says Linda Pretorius and Jacques Ferrin. Okay, a third of the global fund for HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria's money comes from the United States. The other contributions come from wealthy governments and philanthropic organizations. In turn, the global fund helps poor countries like South Africa pay for HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. The Global Fund raises money in 3-year cycles called replenishments. The latest replenishment was launched in February. South Africa got just over $1.4 billion, the current exchange rate, that's 26 billion rand, from the Global Fund since 2017. 90% of it goes to HIV. I warned you. The money we give to WHO, the money we give to the Global Health Fund, the Melinda Gates Foundation, the money goes in there. All that money that we give to people is going to go away too. Yes. So an analysis published in the Journal of International AIDS Society in February shows that a 90-day halt in funding could lead to 100,000 extra AIDS-related deaths this year. Well, put a condom on, then it won't happen. But we're way off track here. There are nearly 1.3 million new HIV infections in the world, 5 times higher than the target. And U.S. funding freeze could make it worse. So I don't know what this gratuitous sentence is here. Trump's take on public health science during the COVID pandemic has been called sabotage. What does that have to do with anything? Now you're gonna Trump. You want okay? So I'm sorry, Ms. Pretorius. You want money from the United States, and you're going to attack the United States? What a bunch of dumbasses. So, but being a big player in the world's health funding can't be denied. In 2024 alone, the U.S. gave $12.4 billion to global health efforts, with 70% going towards the fight against HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. A fifth of that, $1.65 billion, was the U.S. contribution to the Global Fund for HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria. So there you go. Keep pissing us off, and the money will disappear. Oh, America is so evil. Well, we'll show you how evil we are. Greedy, ungrateful bastards. Well, this is going to be a bad move. So, Kirsty Coventry, a fantastic swimming athlete who I was a huge fan of as an athlete, was co-opted and became part of the corrupt Mnangagwa government of Zimbabwe, illegitimate, illegal government of Zimbabwe. She's a minister of sports there, and now she's a candidate to be Africa's Olympics representative? Wow. Why she could be the perfect fit. I'm sorry, Firdosa Monda. She's not the perfect fit. Former Zimbabwean swimmer Kirsty Coventry hopes to succeed outgoing Thomas Bach in the International Olympic Committee presidency. She won 7 medals and participated in 5 Olympic Games. She advocates for athlete protection and neutrality from political statements. Africa's most decorated Olympian and former Zimbabwean swimmer Kirsty Coventry is now ready to run the Games. She's among the frontrunners in the 7-person International Olympic Committee presidential race that kicks off in Greece on Tuesday. I've seen how sport has been so transformative in a world that's so divided today. The IOC really has a very strong role to play. That's a big part of why I wanted to put my hand up for this race, and I've worked really hard to convince members that I'm the best candidate. As an athlete, an Olympic champion, as a minister, and especially navigating very sensitive politics throughout my career, all these attributes and lessons learned really to make me a very strong candidate for what the movement needs for the future. And I would say she's correct in that. Being part and parcel of the corrupt, illegitimate government of Emerson Mnangagwa has taught her how to navigate legitimacy. So good luck to Kirsty Coventry in that selection. War-torn Congo has asked the United States to come take over. Wow. War-torn Congo has a deal for Trump. Kick out the rebels, get the minerals. Interesting. The leader of a war-torn African nation has put a deal on the table for Trump. Help his country defeat a powerful rebel force in exchange for access to a trove of minerals needed by U.S. high-tech firms. In a February 8th letter to Trump, Felix Tshisekedi, president of the DRC, offered mineral mining opportunities in the U.S. Sovereign Wealth Fund, an entity Trump had launched a few days earlier. Your election has ushered in the golden age for America. Our partnership would provide the U.S. with strategic advantage by securing critical minerals such as cobalt, lithium, copper, and tantalum from the DRC. In exchange, he asked Trump for a formal security pact to help his army defeat the M23 rebels. And I say, no thank you. No thank you. This is a 30-year conflict. We have no desire to send Americans to die in your mess for minerals. We're not mercenaries. Get your Namibian and Zimbabwe mercenaries to come back and do the job for you. You used them. Well, you didn't use them, but they were used 25 years ago. Use them again. The DRC and Rwanda presidents hold a surprise peace talks for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. The presidents of Rwanda and DRC have expressed their support for a ceasefire after holding talks in Qatar, hours after peace talks in Angola failed. Rwanda leader Paul Kagame and DRC President Felix Tshisekedi met Tuesday with Qatar's Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. The heads of state reaffirmed their commitment to all parties for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire as agreed to at the African summit in February. Well, if only we could have that ceasefire. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, Nigerian TikToker has been rearrested for abusing the currency. She abused the naira. What did she do? Apparently she tossed it in the air. What? What? Wow, this is democracy? These are legitimate governments? I think not. TikToker Murja Kunya was arrested for failing to appear in court after bail for abusing currency. Well, that's not the reason she was arrested. She didn't go to court. Yep. Nigeria's anti-graft agency on Monday announced the arrest of popular TikToker who failed to appear in court after getting bail for allegedly abusing the national currency by throwing up notes at a party. The 26-year-old was arrested in her native city of Kano on Sunday after weeks of evading authorities. She first arrested in January after an online video showed her throwing naira notes in a hotel room in the city, violating the Central Bank of Nigeria Act, which prohibits abuse and mutilation of the naira. Throwing them is mutilation? Abuse? Throwing notes in the air? That's a criminal offense? Wow, that's just insanity. So much for freedom in Africa. Speaking of a lack of freedom, Christians in Syria are being oppressed and murdered as we speak. Christians in Syria fear what's next after latest waves of violence. Christians and other religious minorities in Syria fear the Middle Eastern nation has traded one oppressor for another since the ouster of longtime strongman Bashar Assad. Fighting between Assad loyalists and opponents in Latakia and Tartus spiraled into sectarian bloodshed last week as Sunni militias stormed the region, threatening Christians and Muslim minorities. You have the Alawite and the Shia, but we also have the Christians, who are the minorities as well. Acting president of the Global Christian Relief. The violence has left more than 1,300 Syrians dead in under 72 hours. It's insane. And where is the world? Where is South Africa? Where is the ANC? I'm sorry. Are those the calls coming from the ANC over the murder of Christians in Syria, the genocidal campaign in Syria? I'm sorry. Is the ANC going to the ICJ over the genocidal behavior of the Syrian authorities against Christians? No, I don't think so. The silence is very telling, folks. Very telling. Very telling. Apparently, Tehran didn't tell them to do it, so it doesn't matter. Turkish police have arrested the mayor of Istanbul. The president for life, the illegitimate leader of Turkey, Erdogan. This is his political opponent. Police arrested a dozen people, including Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, who was expected to be the opposition candidate in the party's presidential campaign. Ekrem İmamoğlu, Istanbul's mayor and high-profile member of the opposition to President Erdogan, was arrested along with dozens of others on Wednesday, state-run media reported. Critics said it's called a significant escalation of the government's crackdown on dissent. A popular politician and member of the opposition Republican People's Party became mayor of Turkey's largest city in 2019, won re-election last year in high-profile races where he defeated candidates from Erdogan's ruling party. So, now they're arresting political opponents in Turkey, a NATO country that oppresses its own population. Taiwan's military plans July drills, citing a possible Chinese invasion in 2027. Taipei embraces U.S. timeline on when Beijing could launch a surprise attack. In echo of long-held U.S. warnings, Taiwan for the first time identified 2027 as the year the potential Chinese invasion of the democratic island could be unleashed. The warning issued Tuesday and referenced by the island's military on Wednesday comes at a time when cross-strait tensions are on the rise. Germany decides to spend money to buy weapons. Guns manufacturers. It's the return of Krupp. Yep. The move comes as Europe scrambles to strengthen security amid concerns over U.S. commitments under President Trump. Well, you freeloaders start paying your way and we won't have a problem. German lawmakers passed a mammoth spending bill Tuesday that could allow for up to $1 trillion in defense and infrastructure investments over the next decade. Wow. So they're going to go into debt. This violates European central bank standards, does it not? Germany's going to go past that 2.5% debt ceiling. Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine and Russia accuse each other of violating the partial truths. Ukraine's Zelensky was speaking with President Trump Wednesday morning to discuss details of the ceasefire, and both say the other are breaking it. Well, that's not a surprise. Neither one of these sides are trustworthy. Neither one that can be trusted as far as you can throw them. So they're both reprobates. Remove Zelensky, remove Putin. Both be gone. Well, the son of Jair Bolsonaro is seeking asylum. And I tell you this story because folks who are interested in coming to America under the refugee program, this is asylum. Eduardo Bolsonaro, the son of Brazil's former president, said he planned to stay in the United States, claiming persecution back home. This is how asylum actually works. Someone who's here legitimately in the country. You didn't lose sound. I quit talking. Third oldest son, the former Brazilian president, has been in the United States since late February, just as Brazil's Supreme Court began weighing whether to seize his passport over accusation he tried to interfere in the case involving his father's alleged role in a fake coup plot after he lost the election. The 40-year-old is seeking asylum. This is asylum, not living in South Africa or in Spain or Ireland and asking to come to America. No. A Toronto man faces 29 charges, including advocating genocide against Jews. A Toronto man is facing 29 charges, including 2 rare charges of willful promotion of hatred and advocating genocide of Jews. The Toronto Police Service said Amir Arhavi Azar was arrested on January 11th. Public incitement of hatred. They include advocating genocide and willful promotion of hatred. All the incidents alleged to occur between April 26 last year and January this year. So they let it go on for nearly a year before they arrested this clown. Wow. He also faces 5 counts of arson. Wow, the dangerous people the Canadians let walk the streets in their interest of equity and inclusion. Diversity. Yes. All right. Well, you shouldn't let criminals, whether they're white, black, brown, blue, or green, walk the streets just for your fake political objectives. Canada's population surpassed 41 million. Wow. Uncontrolled, massive in-migration has led to this and the de-Anglicization of the country and the balkanization of Canada with all these people coming in. The total number of people was up 63,000. That's the growth per month. Wow. Canadian population grew by nearly 1 million in 2024. Interesting. Canada is growing. Why? Attorney General Bondi says that the vandalism on Tesla property is domestic terrorism. Well, thank you, Attorney General Bondi. I called it that the moment I saw it. Multiple Tesla vehicle showrooms and charging stations have been attacked across the country, and you should arrest these people on terrorist charges. The swarm of violent attacks on Tesla property is nothing short of domestic terrorism. The Department of Justice has already charged several perpetrators with that in mind, including in cases that involve charges with 5-year mandatory minimum sentences. We will continue investigations and impose severe consequences on those involved in these attacks, including those behind the scenes to coordinate and fund these crimes. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department Assistant Sheriff Dory Corrin said at a press conference that the suspect behind the attack used the Molotov cocktails to ignite the vehicles and fired multiple rounds at them before fleeing. He also scrawled "resist" on the building. At least 5 Tesla vehicles were damaged. Well, it's time to put these terrorists in prison where they belong. Send them to Guantanamo or Leavenworth. Trump aides are preparing new tariffs worth trillions for Liberation Day. Administration has already unnerved investors with duties on Canada, Mexico, and China. White House aides are preparing to impose new tariffs on most imports on April 2nd, laying the groundwork for an escalation in global economic hostilities. Through his first 2 months in office, the president has raised tariffs on roughly $800 billion in imports from China, Mexico, and Canada. These tariffs have sent their stock market careening and raised the risk of U.S. recession. Despite the blowback, senior Trump advisors are now publicly pledging to create a new tariff regime that would impose new duties on trade with most countries that trade in the United States. It's a liberation day for our country because we're going to be getting back a lot of the wealth that was so foolishly gave up to other countries, including friend or foe, said Trump. Well, this isn't going away, folks. You can't wish it away. Trump said he will adhere to court orders, but we have a constitutional crisis, essentially. President Trump said late Tuesday he would never defy a court order, but signaled he is willing to go after judges who defy his deportation plans or other parts of his agenda. He said he's had a bad personal experience in the courts, bemoaning crooked judges. The Fox News host Laura Ingraham wanted to know if he would defy a court order. I never did defy a court order, and you wouldn't in the future? No, you can't do that. However, we have bad judges. We have very bad judges. These are judges that shouldn't be allowed. I think at a certain point you have to look at it and what do you do when you have a rogue judge? Yeah, exactly. Trump wants to impeach U.S. District Judge James Boaseng, an Obama appointee, for ordering the deportation plan of Venezuelan illegal immigrants to turn around instead of landing in El Salvador. Calls for impeachment prompted a rare rebuke from the Chief Justice John Roberts. For more than 2 centuries, it's been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose. Chief Justice John Roberts has betrayed the Constitution on numerous occasions and undermined the foundations of our governance. So what he has to say on this issue is of little consequence or importance to me. Rogue judges must be dealt with, and the mechanism for dealing with rogue judges who violate the law is impeachment. And Trump is welcome to talk about impeachment of his political opponents. They certainly did it to him. A judge has temporarily blocked the EPA from canceling climate grants. See, once again, an overactive judge who is exceeding the Constitution. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin said he will not rest until taxpayer dollars are returned to the U.S. Treasury. A federal judge blocked the EPA from terminating grants that were part of a $20 billion climate funding program created by the previous administration. In a 23-page ruling, U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkin issued a temporary restraining order to prevent the EPA from terminating grants awarded to 3 environmental groups. According to the court ruling, the EPA explained that it was terminating the grants due to multiple ongoing investigations into programmatic waste, fraud, and abuse. Chutkin said the evidence was insufficient as the agency failed to provide specific information about the investigations, factual support for the decision, or an individualized explanation for each plaintiff. It's not up to the court to decide if there's an ongoing investigation. That's bullshit. This is exceeding your judicial authority, shutting down the federal government, the executive branch, from stopping fraud, waste, and abuse. Unbelievable. This is overreach, judicial overreach. Well, inside the 24-page or 24-hour scramble, among other top national security officials over the JFK documents. The director of the CIA emphasized some documents had nothing to do with the assassinated president, according to people familiar with the discussions. President Trump's national security team is stunned and forced to scramble after he announced Monday that he would release 80,000 pages. Well, why are you stunned? Why are you forced to scramble? You were told he was going to release this during the campaign. Why have you been sitting on your ass? You've now been in office for almost 2 months. 2 months to the day, tomorrow. And you haven't prepared these documents? So I'm glad you had to scramble and burn the midnight oil and do your damn job. 2 months of sitting on your ass. Trump said he was going to release them. I don't give a crap about the JFK files. There's nothing there. You're not going to find anything. I, however, do have a scoop. Ladies and gentlemen, a dear friend of mine purchased the same rifle that purportedly was used by Lee Harvey Oswald in the assassination of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy from the same sporting goods store, not the same location, same sporting goods store the day after Oswald used it. Same scope, same rifle, and has had it in his house for 60 years. We're going to do an interview with my friend. Going to talk about how he got that rifle, what motivated him to get it, and how he's held on to it for 6 decades. I hope you find that interesting. We'll be doing that interview coming up. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the receipts any longer. He threw them out 50 years ago, but it would have been amazing if he had the receipts, but still has the rifle. He's had it for 60 years. Bought it the day after. That was thinking ahead. Keeping the receipts would have been thinking a little bit more, but we're going to do that. It'll be either today or tomorrow. Depends on the scheduling. Wow. A judge has blocked DOGE, another activist judge. Government officials had argued that dismantling USAID fits within the president's authority to conduct foreign affairs. But the judge says, no, that's not the case. U.S. District Judge Theodore Chong said in opinion that the actions at issue relate largely to the structure and resources made available to federal agencies, not to the direct conduct of foreign policy or engagement with foreign governments. He ordered Musk and DOGE reinstate access for USAID workers and contractors to USAID systems and not take any further action related to placing employees on leave, firing workers, or terminating contracts. This is a bullshit injunction. Once again, a court overstepping its bounds. This is within the president's purview. Presidential executive order created USAID, and it can make it go away. The United States has threatened to cut off transit authority in New York. Sean Duffy, U.S. Transportation Secretary, demanded a long list of details about crime in the subway and on buses in New York. The Trump administration threatened on Tuesday to withhold federal funding from New York's mass transit network if the Metropolitan Transit Authority did not respond to a series of demands about efforts to prevent crime on the city's subway. Well, there you go. That's not good, folks. That's not good. Well, evil Big Pharma stealing money. Never mind the fact they have to spend tens of billions of dollars to bring drugs to market, many of which fail, and they eat the cost of that. And of course, that gets pushed on to consumers. We in America here pay the cost of the development of these life-saving drugs, life-extending drugs. Yes, things like antiretrovirals, heart medication, seizure medication, pain medication, all done overwhelmingly by American pharmaceuticals, who take on hundreds of billions of dollars in development costs. Much of it lost, has to be recouped. Well, Purdue Pharma is filing for bankruptcy. The oxycodone manufacturer was sued by states, local governments, and individuals for its alleged role in creating the opioid crisis. So they've destroyed this company over an alleged role. Drug maker Purdue Pharma filed a new bankruptcy plan on Tuesday, marking a major step towards finalizing proposed opioid settlement of $7.4 billion. The maker of the powerful semi-synthetic opioid oxycodone, also marketed as OxyContin, and other names, filed a Chapter 11 reorganization plan and related disclosure statement with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of New York. According to the statement, announced the proposal, a new public benefit company 100% devoted to improving the lives of Americans would be created after the company is dissolved. Well, they will survive. They'll just be in another form. Wow. $7.4 billion because people misuse drugs and because the government intervened and exacerbated the crisis. That hardly seems fair. What the hell's going on here? Hang on a second here, folks. There we go. This carpet is annoying. Well, that's the news for today, folks. 761 people here, 487 likes. Boy, people being really slow on the button there. Push the button.
That was easy.
487 likes. That's it. You can do better than that. Come on, hit that like button. All right. Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing here? Let's go back a little ways in the chat. I can't go all the way back. That would take hours. Marissa has a bit of a problem. There are workers of the farmer that just walked into my yard. My dog is going to bite them. I told them that. This morning, there was one that came here and wanted bottles. Oh, my gosh. You're being harassed on a farm. This is not good. Is anybody out there near Marissa that can help her? A woman get attacked and raped by criminals, yes, who have HIV. I know, John. I'm aware of that. And they get impregnated by them as well. It's horrible. Horrible. Rapists, murderers. Moonbass, 140 Rand. Super chat. Super sticker. Thank you for that, Moonbass. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. It's cool. The passport renewals today at Durban was great, but systems went offline a couple times, make it slightly longer, but still an hour and a half versus 7 hours. There you go, John. Nick Rose just gave a gift of membership, and it went to Alan Stander. Congratulations. Alex Stander, not Alan. Sorry. Morning, Slabbert. How come my likes... Oh, you've got to refresh the page, Morning. You got to refresh the page. It's 555 likes now. The YouTube doesn't always update everybody, so you have to refresh the page. My heart is going out to Helen when she was verbally attacked for just asking a question. Helen who? Helen Zilla? Helen Zilla get attacked? Who's Helen? Okay. JFK said Joe Biden is a traitor. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, no, it's fired a shot. They test fired it a few years back. Yeah, they test fired it and couldn't hit. The guy who fired it couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. That's not an indication of how good the rifle is. Just saying the guy that fired it couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Yeah, Johan Barkhuysen says that'll be a great interview. Yeah, I think so too. Make sure you have a sign up warning them that there's a dog in the premises. Charmaine, thank you for your membership. 12 months now. Wow. Do we cover the South African? No, I didn't cover the research in Antarctica. I didn't realize it was South African. I thought it was an American. Sandef must go to DRC and stop holding out white flags. Must earn those gifted patches. Thank you, game. Appreciate it. Your membership. How do I do what? Just refresh the page. You don't know how to refresh your page? What are you using? A phone or a PC? A PC's easy. You go up and hit the refresh button. If on the app, if you don't know how to do it, then you can always. Okay, let me see. I'll show you how to do it here. Okay.
Knowledge is put to
not because I recommended it, but just because it was there, so I gave it to them. They wrote, and it turns out that those people, some of those people, and by the way, those people are not just in Pretoria. I know people. So on your mobile, I don't know how it is on Apple, but on this one, your best bet is to exit. Okay, close it. You got to close it here. That's not right. Come on, close it, and then just pull down. If you pull down the app, it should refresh it, then go back, and you'll get the current stuff. Okay. All right, if you're desperate to see how many likes there are, that's how you do it. Okay, it's one way to do it. There are other ways. Make sure you have a sign up. Yes. I believe you don't want us to lose our people. It's better if Trump just takes over. Elon becomes president. Well, that's not going to happen. That isn't going to happen. Okay. Oswald wasn't the killer, says Charmaine. Well, who was Charmaine? Klaus Ulrich says, congrats on the 60,000 mark. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thanks for the people who signed up for us to get us there. American judicial system is whack. Well, it is now. It sure has become that way over the last 30 years. 007 Spectre. Oh, that's interesting. You're on both sides of the coin, Spectre and 007. I hope everyone has a blessed evening. Hey, Army 3275. Hope your reunion is going to go well. My advice is Omni de Hope, Wop, Op Trump. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'll just skip that. We'll be honest, in our interview, we have no stab wounds, but we do fear. Yeah, okay, guys, get over the stab wounds. Why do people fixate on trivial little things? Good gosh, next time I'll just say, he went to embassy, met with person, answered questions, went home. Boom. That's be a report next time. Of course you answer honestly. The only way you should answer. Hey, Nick, how's it going? Tomahawk? Oh, Tomahawk says get some super chats going. Yeah, that's fine. Amanda Brown, they should start prosecuting the recipients of the money. It's crazy. It's a scam by the Dems. No wonder. Yeah, exactly. I would buy I Am Broke. No idea what you're talking about there. Need a board my seat and an extra pot for a pot brood. Anyone willing to help out? Well, there's a super chat of 40 rands from, is it David Furi? Thank you for 40 rand super chat there. Appreciate that. All right, trying to catch up a little bit here now. White flags are now going to be standard issue of the Sandef. The ones that came this morning that wanted the bottles, I don't even know him. He also almost my back door. So, yeah, he has no authority to be walking on your property. Hey, Benita, thank you for the 100 rand super chat. Appreciate that. Now they're coming in. Yeah, no, in America you get shot for that. You don't walk on people's property, just unasked. Butterfly Kisses, congrats. She says, thank you so much for that. Okay. Where are we at? Come back, we're at there. Oh my goodness. Come on. Okay, catching up here. Boone Bass, 140 rand super chat. Nick gave a gift. Alan says, if you want to understand the psychology deep root off our connors, you need to understand that they believe in the word Senior Fund Runsberg. Not everybody believes in Senior Fund Runsberg. A lot of people do. Yes, I know. I've seen that. That's mostly in the boors who do that. Only email I got from U.S. Embassy since yesterday's update that they're on it. Waiting more. Well, then that's all you're going to get, Victor. Just hang in there. Again, the email is sent to a small number of people so they can, see how the process works. Simon says, where do you like this video? Because one likes just lately are not enough because all the African. Well, you can only like it one time. Under the, here, let's show you. Let's do it. I'll like the video. So there's just down here, there's a little thumbs up. on the bottom side of the video. So you just push this thumbs up and it just turned white. See that? Just turned white over there. That's on the phone. On your PC, it's similar to the bottom below the chat. Or below the video. So, below the video. So, easy to find. And there's a 35 Rand super chat from Werner de Burns. Thank you for that, Werner. Okay. Charmaine, thank you for your membership for 12 months. How to game the algorithm. Watch for 3 minutes, then hit like. It gives a better channel boost. Okay. All right. That may be true, because if you just automatically like it before it starts, they probably just disallow that. Good point. No white woman journalist. Huh? There's a 140 Rand super chat from Lynette DeVette. I love saying Lynette DeVette. That's cool. DSTV and Netwerk24 milking people for money. They're under enormous financial pressure. Yeah, they are. Can Owen believe this? On Monday, I applied for my passport today and collect. Exactly, Hugo Basson. What did I say? People keep coming here rubbishing. Oh, 12 months. Oh, shut down. We can't get passports. That doesn't jive with the anecdotal experience of many people under. Some people have been waiting. Some people don't get anywhere. Some people get their passport in 48 hours. Some in a week. Some in 2 weeks. So, you know, everyone's got a different situation. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. Show Amelia video. Didn't see that one. Okay. Oh, asking about EWC. Gotcha. Charmaine, thank you for the 70 Rand super chat. And there's John Spencer with 140 Rand. Thank you for that. Press F5 on your PC. What's that for? Restart that Windows 95. Captain Kurt, next to forward and back arrows, there's a circle. Press that. People who don't get accepted will play the green card lottery. Yeah, no. Well, there's no harm, no foul in that. Try it. Marissa, I'm fine now. My husband is home, but during the day, me and my son's girlfriend are alone here. All right, Marissa, if you put an axe there, make sure you know how to use it. Don't just have an axe there. It doesn't do magic things for you. You need someone who knows self-defense to teach you how to use it. All right? Get someone that knows self-defense to come, and you need to practice it and practice it and practice it. It's like people who buy firearms, they put them in their home, and then the guns are taken from them. They're used to murder them. You don't have something for self-defense unless you know how to use it and you've practiced using it. So, Marissa, my advice to you is you need to practice. Your husband needs to get someone that knows what they're doing to come in and teach you self-defense techniques. You must rehearse them, do them over and over again until they become muscle memory. And then, if something, God forbid, were to happen, you will react because your body and your mind are trained to do it. It's how we get soldiers to persevere under bullets whizzing by their head and artillery rounds exploding around them. You do it over and over again. It's unfortunate, but I don't want anything bad to happen to you. Lizzie says, told you that some of us don't know technology. Sorry, Lizzie, didn't see your message. Emil, congratulating my 60,000. Thank you. Neighbors across the road said to us the other day, it's best for us to just go to America's refugees. They're being... Oh. Let's reverse this for just a second. If Trump had offered... Because he didn't offer it to white South Africa. He offered Congress. But let's say Trump had offered refugee status to Nguni-speaking peoples in South Africa. Imagine the press story there. I should do a spoof on that. Yeah, I will do later today. I will do that. I will make a parody about Trump offering refugee status to Nguni-speaking peoples from South Africa. Yeah, that's an old video from before he became a minister. It's all true, but there's no point recirculating. You did an interview with Old Mutual that said that they have to do maths and spelling with the staff. When did I do an interview with Old Mutual? I don't recall doing an interview with Old Mutual. JFK was taken out by a Secret Service agent front seat. Okay, Rory, thank you for that input. I appreciate it. The Stig's fat brother. Hey, Chris. Love your show. I think if you dig into the Oxy history, you will find Purdue paid doctors prescribed very addicting drug was not needed and causing many bad outcomes. Yeah, no, you're right about that story. That's true. But Purdue is not solely responsible for that disaster. The federal government ignored the crisis, and then after the crisis manifested, they overreacted by cutting people off, which led to what was going on. They exacerbated the OxyContin addiction crisis in this country. So Big Pharma, Congress, doctors, and patients all bear responsibility, but only Purdue is going to be paying the price. Patients who misuse the drugs aren't the ones paying the price. Doctors aren't paying the price. Thank you for 35 Rand, Marnus Potkita. Yeah, no, your point is 100% correct, Stig. That's a factual story. But my point is that blaming Big Pharma for a crisis that many people participate in and only Big Pharma is not acceptable. All of the guilty should be prosecuted. David Free, thank you for the set 40 rands. Thanks for the information on WhatsApp. Helps a lot. I'm glad I answered your question. I'm so far behind. Today I woke up to hundreds more things. Only found out today that the massive Chinese acid disaster. Okay, I didn't hear about that. Military-grade jammers used to farm invaders. I've already addressed this, Kurt, so you're just arriving now. I addressed that in the news earlier. Yeah, that's an old story, and I talked about Andrew Thompson trying to mislead people, claiming that the people on Twitter are misleading people by misleading people himself in a News 24 article. The fact that this occurred in 2015 is not a secret. I reported on it on LinkedIn back in the time. Not news. Also on Twitter, if I remember correctly, I report on that. The fact that they used a cell phone jammer and the people incorrectly claimed it cost 350,000 Rand isn't really an issue. Why is that even mentioned? Who cares what it costs? The fact they have military-grade jammers, what? So you're going to tell me that homeless people can buy military-grade jammers for 10,000 or 15,000 or 20 or 60,000 Rand? It doesn't really matter what it costs. The fact they have military-grade jammers, which were not something that people could buy at that time on the street, it's, look, it's from 2015. I already covered this. And people are not helping by spreading this stuff around. If you're going to spread around, say, look, this is a farm attack that occurred in 2015. You can see in this case that clearly this isn't random crime. This is organized. Somebody paid these people. Somebody gave them the money to buy these cell phone jammers and these police-issued service weapons. Tinfoil Neanderthal, thank you for your 35 Rand. We're getting there, 35 at a chop. 35 at a chop. Yeah, so, Kurtz, I've discussed the issue, and I've rubbished Andrew Thompson's fake news story on it. Pharmaceutical companies dumped OxyContin in Appalachia, 20 million doses in 2 pharmacies in West Virginia with 3,000 people. Delivered by poison whites, nothing alleged. Huh? I was reading the news story, Light Rain. What are you talking about? Matt, thank you. You mentioned Colonel on another channel, and that's how I found him. Oh, Copy. Oh, thank you, Copy. Appreciate that. Wow. See, that's the viral aspect of this, folks. Copy mentioned me on another channel, and that's how you found me. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Thanks. Sean says, plus command plus R refresh the web page in Apple. Okay. Well, thank you. I don't do Apple, so thank you for that. I didn't know that. Corey says, you can't remember, not Helen Z. This Helen, white woman journalist asked Minister if there is any way the government can protect private property. Look, people ask things all the time. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Which one? YouTubers remove messages for crap reasons. Well, they do it all the time, particularly when the channel surges, things disappear. Heidi Groka's interview with Kali Creel. First question, asking if AFROM takes responsibility for Russell being expelled. Well, shows you they're not even journalists. They're just propagandists. It all depends on the home affairs you go to. Went to Heidelberg and lots of stories there offline. Went to Meriton and service par excellence. There you go. Okay. Hey, Paul Ferrer, how's it going, man? And what else? Passports take 3 weeks. Was it home affairs? Well, that's your passports took that long. Okay, don't lose it. Why did these interview questions seem like they were only interested in if you given racially? Huh? First off, Chana, that wasn't the question. Did you listen to the video? The question was, why are you interested in the program? It didn't ask, have you been assaulted? Were you raped? Was someone in your family murdered? Have you been robbed? They didn't ask that question. The guy asked the question, why are you interested in the program? And the gentleman said, well, I mean, in my case, I was stabbed 15 times because I'm white. I don't understand. Don't lose it. Shauna says, don't lose it. The interview questions didn't seem like they're only interested if you've been racially, physically attacked. No, it didn't. You're assuming something, Chana, that is not there. You are Facts, not in evidence. You were presenting facts, not in evidence. It's not a fact. That's not what the question was. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. China says, don't lose it. I'm not losing it. But seriously, come on. Where do you guys come up with this crap? All right, let's go to that. Let me see if I can find that spot in the video, okay? You know, it's Donald Trump Jr., an advert on my channel. Hey, Don, how you doing? Make me some money, brother. Okay, let's see. That I am from there expressed concern as well. So, and then and do keep all documents with you. The embassy in Hatfield today, the 18th of March, actually has interest in what it's all about. Refugee resettlement. Not only genuine, but right now would appear to be largely about the conduct of the officer who was conducting the interview. From that point on, it appeared that it didn't look like they're looking at everything. Now, I asked about the conduct. Okay, so here's the part. Where do you get this conclusion, Chana and everyone else? Where do you get this from, honestly? To the officer who was conducting the interview. Were they cordial? Were they perfunctory? And the response was he was cordial, but he was perfunctory to the greater extent. But his tone changed when the South African was asked about their personal experience, and the South African described having been the victim of a violent attack where they were stabbed multiple. Asked about their personal experience in South Africa, why they're interested in the program. I said that earlier. He was asked about his personal experiences, and he related he'd been stabbed. Where is the question coming from about physical assault? There is no question. Where do you get this from, folks? Where do you come up with these ideas? Facts, not in evidence. I never presented that. No wonder the journalists are so stupid in South Africa. Wow. Because people don't listen. That was never said. You're making a conclusion, China, that's not valid. I'm not picking on China, but where does it say that? There's nowhere in that video where it says that. I never claimed that. I never said that. I don't know where you guys get that from. Stop assuming things. Stop making crap up. Stop getting yourself in a tizzy over nothing. The guy was interviewed. The person interviewing him, and I even acted this thing out. You know, I did a little play skit last night. You know, okay, so what's your name? Okay. And your birth date? Okay. Family members? Okay. You want them to come too? Okay. Under 18? All right. Okay. All right. So, so tell me about your personal experience. Well, I'm interested in this program because I got stabbed 15 times. And you take from that the questions were only, well, I mean, what? Look, guys, I mean, if you're going to just make stuff up and get yourselves all in a tizzy and get your blood pressure up over things that aren't even introduced, there's no point in me making the videos. I just let it be and let everybody just assume what they want. I'm trying to help. Where do you get that from? China, I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you, China, but you're not the first person. Last night this came up too. Well, I only can go if I've been stabbed. Where did somebody draw that conclusion from? Well, all they care about is people have been attacked. I guess I have to go get stabbed. That smart-ass comment I saw last night. Oh, man. I didn't even know there was such a thing as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Okay? 6% of the people who demand the land don't even know who their father I trained my wife with mock attacks to train her and split. Yeah, there you go. Madeline says, my husband is working in the USA. I want to go and visit him in May. Will I still be able to apply? Of course you can apply. Well, you're going to apply online most likely, so you should be able to apply from there. Yeah, just because you're on the road on holiday doesn't mean you can apply. But you're going to have to come back for the interview whenever they schedule it. Okay. Hey, Tracy, welcome to you, James. So my Opa had his land occupied in the 2000s, couldn't take any action, so had to just give his land up because the government was pushing fines on him. Yeah, exactly. Hester DeGraff, don't ask him about refugee status. He'll soon let us know he knows more. Okay. Proud enough, talking about that, some of the racist comments under your videos is a joke. People are either nasty or jealous. Yeah, well, I've deleted a bunch of them, but I can't delete them all. It's time consuming. Monas Potgeeter, 35 Rand, thank you for that. Samantha Busby, regarding passports, I had a rather decent experience in Home Affairs in Broncosport. The 1 hour for biometrics, ready for collection in 3 days. There you go. 30 minutes. That was that's 2019 though, Samantha. Things might have worked better then. Western Cape Independence is going to U.S. to get back up for... Yeah, I know about that. Okay. I'd like to know where all the black citizens out there are keeping their lips zipped. Why no outrage? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where are your fellow black citizens, black South Africans who don't believe in this nonsense? Why aren't they speaking up? Darlene Estes, and where can I obtain application forms for refugee? There are no application forms for refugee, Darlene. You want to go to the U.S. Customs Immigration Service and download the form, USCIS, you can do that, uscis.gov. Go there, download it. But there is no program for South Africa, so download them, fill them out, and send them to the government if you want, but nothing's going to happen. Hey, Heinrich Schoenefeld says, congratulations on the 60,000. Still going to do the 100,000 super chat when you reach 100,000. Well, all right, I'll hang in there for it. Tinfoil Neanderthal says, I'm late, so you might have mentioned it, but he's allegedly sending an envoy to Washington. Also, Taiwan's office was renamed. I didn't see a Taiwan's office renamed. It wasn't in the media this morning. Okay? Thank you for that. I didn't know about Phil Craig coming here. He didn't bother to tell me that. That's disappointing. As much coverage as I've given Phil Craig and his Independence Party and his movements. Tanya Walford, 140 Rand. Thank you for that. Appreciate that super sticker. And perhaps the military equipment was stolen. Oh, you mean back in 2015? Could be. I made a comment on Oxcon. You addressed it cogently. I agree. Many more people were involved. Yeah, exactly. No, that's my point. No, Light Rain, that's fine. If something doesn't come across because I didn't go into detail, you guys can question it. Light Rain, you question it, and I don't disagree with you. You stated something factual. Yes, they did pay doctors to overprescribe things, and we have like 50 million pills dumped in a little town in western Pennsylvania when there's only 3,000 residents. Gotcha. Or West Virginia. Yeah, no, that's 100%. But this was something that was created, a crisis created by Congress, by their negligence, and then exacerbated by their action, overreaction when it became a public issue because they're not trying to lose face. And doctors are involved in this, pill manufacturers involved in this, and also the people that use the pills. Now, I'm not blaming people who become addicts because I know it's a disease, but many people resorted to pain medication when they didn't need to. 2015 makes it worse. It shows you how long. Exactly, Jacques Vent. Exactly. And so Andrew Thompson wants to rubbish the concept because someone's posting something from 2015. It's silly. Silly. Wow, I am way behind here. Sorry, folks. I got to jump ahead because I got to wrap up here soon. Okay, Tanya Walford. I did that right. Okay. 140. I think I did Tanya. Thank you, Tanya, for the super sticker. I can't remember. Okay. Stig's Fat Brother gave the first super chat. $5. Thank you, Stig's Fat Brother. Thank you very much. Keep it up. I'm trying. Okay. Amanda says, Phil Craig, great interview. His argument for Cape Independence is brilliant. What interview? Amanda, I've interviewed Phil Craig half a dozen times. Which one are you talking about? Or has someone else interview him? Super chats help the colonel sleep better at night. Yeah, I don't sleep much. Ivan Klassen says, saying to me how we're always targeted until we need to leave. Now that we have a chance to leave, they do everything with the power to keep us here. Exactly. It's terrible watching Heidi Glucka's interview political people. Her husband is a big shot in the ANC. Yeah. Mishael says, we need a free and fair alternative to YouTube. Well, it'd be nice. Well, I tried to do that through a couple of different sources. There are a couple things in the works, folks. I'm involved in a couple different activities, and I can't say anything more. Maybe soon I'll be able to say something. There are things happening behind the scenes that you just don't know about, and I don't have the liberty to share them. So once I can have the liberty to share them, I will. 35 Rand. A couple different adventures taking place. 3 that I'm involved in. 1 which is moribund. 2 which show promise for the near term. Yep. All right. Thanks. Okay. Question, not sure if it's been answered. Does that count as 6-7 plus people that sent the inquiry? Do they also count the emails? No, Alex, the emails from the embassy weren't part of that conversation. There's no way that Neil Diamond has any knowledge of what the embassy's received, nor do I, despite my legitimate request to the Department of State. No, he doesn't know. That is just the stuff that came to them. You're hearing people say that Trump's a dictator and that he's so aggressive. They're scared of World War III. I say he's just a man who takes action, gets things done. Yep. I'm referring to the question on the WhatsApp group, sir. Oh, Johnny, yeah, that's why I said I'm not attacking you. It's a question someone puts out there. Thank you for clarifying. That's why people don't come beating up on you. That's why I keep telling people when I go to their question, I know sometimes people are just repeating what they've seen and telling us what the question is out there. I know we spoke about property not being sold, but my friend's property sold today after 5 months in the market. Well, congratulations, Lynette. I didn't say there weren't outliers. I just said people wait forever to sell stuff. Maybe it's in the right location. Maybe it was the right price. Maybe a buyer was desperate. Who knows? Congratulations. I asked a question. My answer when you can. Erica Strauss says, I asked a question. I think you may say, may you answer when you can. Well, what's your question? Don't ask it again. I don't see anything from you here, Erica, and I'm about to end. I'll go back as far as I can here. Black current, I didn't see black current. I see nothing from you here. I don't know when you asked the question. So I'm trying to catch up. So ask your question again very quickly if you're still here, and I'll try to answer it. Otherwise, we're going to miss out because I need to be off air 2 minutes ago. Sounds like we're looking for a baseline to start from. Let me make sure Ronaldo's still coming on. All right, so Roy's got to go. Okay, well, I got to go too. Tanya Walford, 70 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. I do repairs and customer service, exactly how I feel. Tell a person what to do. 10 minutes later, get a call. Yep. Steve Newbold, did you get my comment on Raful's replacement? No, I didn't, Steve. Where's your comment? Was it here? I mentioned a gentleman already, Nels, who was the top candidate supposedly for it. Okay. Wow, I'm really jumping ahead here now. Culinary Pirates. Looks like I'm going to miss Erica's question. People always overthink things. Please don't stop. Honest news is really difficult to come by. Yep. Jock Wolf, Werner. Okay, I'm not seeing anything from Erica. My apologies, Erica, but I can't see anything from you here. So if I missed it, it's not intentional. Please come back in the next one or join me on Ronaldo's program. All right, folks, I got to wrap up here. Thank you all for being here. And I've got to finish editing my video and hopefully get it loaded up before the top of the hour and then get on with Ronaldo. Thanks. Hit the like button. Appreciate it. Oh, we didn't even hit 4,000 views. Almost so close to that. Thank you all for being here. Thanks to new members. Thanks for the super chats. Thank you for your engagement. I hope you got something useful out of it. I know I did. Yep. See you on Ronaldo, folks. You'll be redirected to the Ronaldo broadcast, which starts in about 13 minutes. Meantime, I've got to get my latest video edited and up. Okay, so that's going to be rush. Thanks, everybody. Oh, load shedding now. That's timely, isn't it? That won't help Ronaldo out. Load shedding. All right, guys. Thank you very much. God bless and have a good day. Oh, there's Retha Swart with 14 Rand Super Chat. Eric, I'm sorry I missed your question, whatever that was.